Hi, welcome to the Forest of Arden. My name is Chris Ryan, and today's video, the format is slightly different. We're still on the golf course, but I'm going to be answering some of your questions, and also at the end of the video, giving you a great chance to win a fantastic prize, so make sure you stay tuned for that. So why is this a different video? Well, last week I managed to go past 50,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And so I really wanted to just say, first of all, thank you for your continued support, watching videos, sharing videos, commenting, liking, and obviously subscribing. And I thought I'd just do something by answering a few questions that you might have about maybe me and my golf swing or the golf game in general. And then, as I said at the start, a chance for you to win a fantastic prize, which is going to be at the end of the video. So when I started my YouTube journey, going back probably, three odd years ago now, it was really a case of just trying to get some things out there just to improve the visual aspect of my brand, getting my brand a little bit more out there, getting my name out there. And really over the few years, it's just been a bit of a roller coaster. It's been a fantastic journey. I've really enjoyed making the videos. I never really thought I'd get to the point where I'm kind of at 50,000 subscribers, but I've absolutely loved it. I'm going to continue doing the videos, so there will be more to come, and hopefully I can get past 100. That's going to be my next milestone. So we're going to start this video with a little bit of a Q&A. I did ask on Instagram and Facebook if you had any questions to post them, and I will answer as many as I can. So we're going to start with those now, and we're going to then progress on to how you can win that fantastic prize. So Q&A, we're going to start with some from Instagram. I'm just going to go through a few of these fairly quickly. There are a few which are relative to the golf swing and the golf game, so we'll go through those a little bit more in detail, but these are just kind of general questions that I got on Instagram. So first of all, from Justin23, wanted to know what made me pursue my career in coaching, what made me pursue teaching in golf. Well, I, as many coaches, started off learning the craft, a handicap golfer as a junior, went through that, managed to turn pro, got my handicap down, kept progressing, and my main goal really was to be on the European Tour, PGA Tour, play in the majors. That was what my kind of main dream and my main goal was. I played a little bit of Euro Pro stuff, I played some tournaments, local tournaments, did okay, but never really did as well as I would like to. My analysis of my game was the closer I got to the green, the worse I was. So tee to green, when I analysed my stats, I was always pretty good, but putting, I can never really make enough putts. My short game was never as strong as I needed it to be. I did work at it, I gave it a couple of seasons, couldn't really make the progression that I wanted to. And then really from there, started to do a bit of coaching. And what I really found is that the passion, the desire, the work ethic I had for my golf game changed. I had that same drive and that same passion for the coaching. So really what I would say is that my drive sort of changed. It went from playing golf to coaching golf, and I found that I still had that same passion. It gave me the same buzz, it gave me the same drive and the same sort of excitement, but it was just slightly different. And the more I started getting into coaching, the more I started working with clients, I just absolutely loved it, and I knew that was what I would probably do for the rest of my career. So really enjoy coaching. Not something I set out to do right at the start, but definitely something I'm really glad I did take up. So answer your question, it was kind of something I fell into, but absolutely super glad that I did. So Tyrone819, and this is a really good question actually. This is again from Instagram, and he wanted to know what is better, a laser, so kind of a Bushnell type thing, or one of the kind of watches that gives you the kind of GPS. Now, first thing I would say, they're very different. So the kind of lasers will enable you to sort of zap anything. So I could zap the tree in the distance, I could zap the hotel over there, I could zap the buggy. I can actually get a yardage to whatever I want. The watches, they're very good. They're on your wrist, obviously. So as soon as you're on the golf course, you can just glance at it. It gives you straight away distances, and the ones that are out there at the moment are fantastic because they give you to the front of the bunker, the back of the bunker, the middle of the green, the back of the green, the hazards, all that kind of stuff. So all the information is on there. However, if you were, let's say, an elite golfer, you were going to play in a tournament and you wanted to go and map that golf course, you wanted to see exactly what you needed to do on that course, a rangefinder might be better because you can stand on the tee and you can zap to as many of the hazards that you want. So the tree on the left, the bunker, the hump, whatever it may be, that you can actually choose the yardages that you want to know. So lasers are very good for that, but I say the watches I think are much quicker because it's on your wrist, you walk to your golf ball, you glance at it, it's going to give you front, middle or back, much better. The disadvantage of that is if you don't know exactly where the flag is, then you don't have exact yardage to the flag. If you have, let's say, front of the green, middle of the green, back of the green, and it's a 40-yard green, you maybe stand on the fairway and look at that flag, but you don't know exactly where it is on that green. So although it's going to give you front, middle, or back, you maybe don't have an exact yardage to the flag. The laser will give you that exact yardage to the flag. So I think either's got their advantage. from my experience, when I coach people, I think people tend to sort of find one suits them a little better. The lasers can often clip onto your bag, and when you get to your ball, you just pull them off. So I don't really think either's better or worse. I think each has got their advantage and disadvantage. The good thing with the watches, obviously you can track score. So that's got a good advantage there. The lasers, you can't do that, but as I say, you can get more yardage and the yardage that you want. So each has got their advantages, each has got their disadvantages. It's difficult for you to exactly play around with both, but if you've got playing partners who've got both, maybe just see if you can use it for 9 holes, see how you get on, and you might find that one just suits you better. But both, I would say, absolutely essential if you're looking to play good golf. Right, so we are on the 10th tee at the Forest of Ardents. A few asked questions that are relating to the golf swing, so I'm going to answer those. I've also got my clubs there if I need to demonstrate anything. So we're going to start off with a question on Facebook. This was from David Walker. The question he asked was, I won't say long, but I'm going to condense it down. He was basically saying that a lot of pros talk about having a flat lead wrist at the top, and his question was, why are we seeing so many golfers now coming through where they have a slightly arched or bowed wrist at the top? He was mentioning sort of Jon Rahm and Dustin Johnson. So first of all, Dustin Johnson, Jon Rahm, obviously fantastic players, and yes, they do have a slightly different wrist position at the top. He's referring to the lead wrist, so it's the glove hand, and at the top, both of those golfers have a very arched wrist in this position. Now, I don't think that many coaches would advocate this in terms of something they would coach, but I would also suggest that a coach who sees a golfer with a bowed wrist probably wouldn't change it. So with that wrist, we basically have 3 options. You're going to have what would be classed as a flat wrist, a bowed wrist, or a cupped wrist. Now what that effectively does, it changes the angle of the club face, and it's effectively going to twist it to point in different areas. So when we have a bowed wrist, i.e. Dustin Johnson or Jon Rahm, that's effectively closing the face down. If we had a cup wrist, it's opening the face. Now, it's much easier to play golf if we have a slightly closed face. If we have a slightly open face, we are unfortunately in a more difficult position. So when we see a closed face, it's not something we're going to desperately jump in there and change. What it will generally mean, if we have a closed face, is that we have to have something in the downswing which kind of matches up with that. We're trying to make a balance. So if we have a closed face, we have to do certain things through impact, which are generally things like rotating a lot, keeping the trail arm bent a little bit, and trying to feel like maybe the handle gets a bit more forward. And what we can effectively do is deliver the golf club often a little bit more consistently to the golf ball. So in answer to your question, I don't think either or any golfer that you see with a bowed wrist has ever been taught that. But what I would say, if they've been coached well, that coach wouldn't have gone in there and changed that. What they'll realise is that they can just create some different things happening through impact, which helps that golfer find a balance and play much, much better. I would guess that a golfer who's trying to make it on the PGA Tour, who has a slightly cupped wrist, would probably find that a golf coach would try and maybe change that. We generally see, more erratic shots coming when a golf club is open relative to when it's closed. So different patterns will work for different golfers, but I would tend to see more elite golfers with a slightly bowed wrist or slightly closed club face because it's much easier to play golf from there. So hopefully that answers your question. So another question from Facebook, this was from Daz Terry, and he was asking all about distance of the ball. He said he's getting a little bit confused with knowing how far away to stand from the ball, what this should look like, what this should feel like, and it's costing him some poor shots on the golf course. This is a difficult one to answer because there is no correct distance from the ball. I'm going to get my driver out. That was my 7-iron. So we'll start off with the 7-iron. I'm just going to set myself up to this golf ball as if I'm going to hit one pretty much down the middle of that fairway. So what we're going to notice here is that the distance between the butt end of the club and myself, there's a gap in there, and I can probably get my hand through there. That's a very, very loose guide, but that's going to be about right for you. So the distance I'm stood from the ball is about the width of my hand. Now, if I take a setup with my driver, obviously that peg is a little bit too low, but if I took a setup with my driver, you're going to see that that distance is a lot more, it's a lot greater. So my arms tend to hang a little bit more straight down with an iron, and I'm liking them to hang a little bit more outward with a driver. And this is something we see from the best players right around the world. You'll see the arms hanging slightly more outwards relative to the iron. So it's going to look and it's going to feel different as you progress through the golf bag. Now, if I was to take out one of my wedges, my 58-degree wedge here, and I was trying to hit a pitch shot that goes maybe some 40 yards, I'm going to be incredibly close. I'm going to be much, much closer to the golf ball than I would be with either my 7-iron or my driver. So as you can see, I need to be in a position where I can adapt. the further I stand away from the golf ball, it's great for generating speed and power, but it's not great for sort of finesse and control. When I need those two skills, that finesse shot, the one where I need a little bit more touch and feel, I'm going to stand a little bit closer. What we can look at as a pretty good guide is how we are balanced at setup. So if I was to go with my 7-iron, take my starting position, what I'm looking for as a pretty loose guide is the back of my shoulders are going to be hanging just in front of my knees. And I want to see my tailbone a few inches outside of my heels. That's going to give me a great idea as to whether I'm in good balance. Far too common, I'll see weight on the heels, and you can see there that back of my shoulders fall behind my knees and my tailbone gets too far outside of my heels. I also see golfers where they're too tilted over towards the golf ball. So here you can see the backs of my shoulders are far too much in front of my knees, out in front of my toes. So we can look a little bit at what the body shape is and how that's set up, and that's going to help with your balance. But in terms of what your arms are going to look like and how far away from you are, how far from the ball you are away, is unfortunately going to change through the bag. What I would start to get you to do is maybe just practice standing different distances. You know, trying to stand much closer with your wedge shots and allowing your arms to hang a little bit further away with the driver, and start to get a bit more comfortable with changing the distance that you stand from the ball. Not an easy answer, that one, I'm afraid, because there isn't a kind of one size fits all. If you're watching any golf, it is the PGA this week. Watch the golfers out there, you'll see them different distances for different types of shots. So a tricky one to answer, but hopefully I've given you a few ideas there. Question now from Instagram, from JohnBoy29, and his question was, is turning the shoulders early a common problem of the over-the-top move? So let me grab my 7-iron. Now he says turning the shoulders early. I am going to assume that he means from the top of the golf swing. So from the top of the golf swing, is turning the shoulders early a common reason why golfers come over the top? I'm going to say probably not. So if I was to set my setup, I'm going to go up to the top, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to feel like I open my shoulders very, very quickly to start the downswing. Okay, I've opened my shoulders. They are already left of my target, but you can see how the golf club is not over the top. What is probably more a common cause is how the right arm is positioned in that downswing. I will see more golfers coming over the top where their shoulders are closed. So I see a lot of golfers where they get to the top, they actually hold the shoulders closed, and yet they still come over the top due to what this trail arm is doing. So opening the shoulders early absolutely can be part of the puzzle, but I don't see it as being the main cause. What I tend to see as being the main cause is the right arm, unfortunately, working incorrectly on the downswing, starting to lose some of the rotations that we created in the backswing. That is going to cause the club to go out, over the top, and then left of target. There's probably a reason before that as to why that happens. So very often the club face will be open, and then the golfer will feel like they have to change what this right arm does to make the path go left in order to make the ball go on target. But I would say focusing on not opening your shoulders up from the top, feeling that you don't turn them too quickly, is probably not necessarily going to change that. You can see how quite comfortably I can get that club working over the top and from an outside position without my shoulders opening up. However, I can open my shoulders up, but if my right arm is working very, very well, I can still hit from the inside. So answer to that question, I would say in many cases it's not. It can be, and it can be part of the puzzle, but I wouldn't have said that's the main cause of you coming over the top. So hopefully that's answered a few of your questions. Thank you for everyone who did post a question on Instagram or Facebook. Really appreciate your interaction. It really helps me with my channel and producing some decent content. Right, so let's get to maybe the important bit, the giveaway. So what are we giving away? We are going to give away this TaylorMade Spider Tour putter. So this is the one as used by Jason Day, and it's exactly the same one that he used. It's the same color, it's the same grip style, it's the same shaft. It's exactly the putter that Jason Day has been using. Dustin Johnson's also been using a slightly different version of this, same putter with a different insert. Sergio Garcia used this putter to win the Masters. So one of the most popular putters on tour at the moment. I think it is the best looking putter on tour at the moment. It looks absolutely fantastic, and this can be yours. So you can enter to win this putter. I will send it wherever you are in the world. So it's not restricted to just UK, America, whatever it may be. Wherever you are in the world, I will send you this putter if you win. All you have to do to enter this is you must be subscribed to this YouTube channel. You also must comment in the box down below exactly why you think you should win this putter. So I'm not going to do this at random. I'm going to do this at what I choose. I want to read through those comments. I want to be entertained. I want to be interested. I just want you to tell me why you should win this putter. A great reason. It could be a joke. It could be a whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be a serious reason. So tell me why you think you should win this putter. I will pick someone from those comments and I will send you this fantastic putter. That's as long as it doesn't end up in my bag, because it's pretty good. I've just hit a few putts on the putting green and I tell you what, it works. So this putter can be yours. Comment below in the box why you should win this putter. Right, thank you very much for watching. Once again, thank you for helping me get to 50,000 subscribers. It means a hell of a lot. Thank you for all your interaction, your comments, your likes, your shares. Everything like that really helps me, makes my job a lot easier to get your kind of feedback and interaction, helps me produce hopefully some content which is helping you play some better golf. Usual stuff is down below. If you're not a subscriber, you definitely need to click that link now, because you can win the putter. There's also a like box down there, comments box. That's where you need to put your reasons, and I will pick a winner for this. I will announce it on Instagram. I will also contact you directly via your page on YouTube. So thank you for watching. Good luck winning the putter. Hope it's you, and we'll see you again soon.